After making this blouse with uneven hem, I decided to share the process of making this blouse. So if you're interested, please watch to the end, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. But first, let me start by introducing myself. Hi, my name is Lilian of Lilian Fashion Lounge, and I talk about everything fashion, pattern drafting, online and physical school, and many more. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is to draft our basic bodies, of course. So I'm going to be dropping the link on the right side of this video. So if you're interested and you want to know how to draft, you can just click on it. It's going to take you to the playlist or the video of how to draft a basic bodies. So after drafting your basic bodies, I'm going to quickly highlight something here before we continue, that this hip line that we are going to be using here is actually 8 inches, not the initial 10 inches that we use for our hip length. So instead of using 10 inches, I decided to use 8 inches to achieve this blouse in order to have a perfect hemline. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to measure 5 inches away from the half inch that we measured initially. So after measuring that, I will use my curvy neckline, my curvy ruler, which is called the French curve, to connect it. Now, what I'm going to be doing here on the dart line, I'm going to measure half inch, then I'm going to measure 5 inches upward. Then I'll be using my French curve to connect it. Don't forget that we measured half inch at the center back also. So we're going to be measuring half inch on the center back. You come up by half inch by 5.5 inches on the dart line. Then you come up by half inch on the side, on both sides. Then you come up by 5.5 inches on the dart line for the back. Then you connect it back to the half inch with your French curve at the center back. As you can see in this video, I'll be using my pencil first before I use my marker to draw out the lines, and that is because I would like my work to be very neat. So that's it, to avoid any mistakes. You know, a pencil, you can erase a pencil, but you cannot erase a marker. So that is why I'm using my pencil first before going ahead to use my marker. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to measure 3 inches on the dart line. I'll also measure 3 inches on the side and the center front and the center back. Now I'm going to be connecting it with my French curve, as you can see video here. So I'm going to label them so that I will not forget them and to also avoid mistakes. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to draw out my lines with my marker. So before we continue our tutorial, I would like to inform you that registration is currently going on for Lilian's Fashion Academy. So if you're interested and you want to learn more about fashion, or do you want to upgrade your fashion skills, or you want to learn how to make dresses, or you want to know more about fashion design, and you are based in Ibadan, then you can come and register, or you can copy the number in the comment section and send me a WhatsApp message, and I'm going to be replying you accordingly. So after drawing out, I'm going to go ahead to cut it out off camera. So after cutting it, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to place my pattern on my fabric. You can decide to use any fabric of choice, but please make sure that your fabric is a shiny fabric, For this one, I'm going to be using Mikado fabric for this. So we are going to be folding your fabric into four, as you can see me do here. Then I'm going to be placing my pattern on my fabric, and I'll be pinning it down accordingly. So after placing my pattern, I'm going to be pinning it down. I pinned it down as seen. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my sewing allowance, which is half inch. So for the center back, I'm going to be measuring 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance, because as you all know, for the zip I always use 1.5 inches for my zip allowance. So that's what I'm going to be measuring for the center back. So after sewing, after adding my sewing allowance, I'm going to go ahead and add my interfacing off camera. Now the interfacing I added was collar stay or peplum stay, depending on the name that you know it as. And on the second one, as you can see, it is two. So on the second one I added air stay, but I would advise that you add paper stay for both the main fabric and the one you are going to be using as lining. And the reason is because so that it's going to give the effect, it's going to give the feel of fabric, it's going to give a fabric like feel. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to be sewing this on half inch. Don't forget that we have added our sewing allowance. So I'm going to take it to my machine and I'll be sewing on half inch. After sewing on half inch, after sewing the lower part, then I'm going to be cutting out the peplum stay that is after the sewing allowance, and I'm also going to be notching it. And I know some of you are going to be asking what the importance of notching it. Now the reason why I'm notching is because so it will be easy for me to turn it over when I decide to turn it over. And the reason I'm cutting out the excess peplum stay is because so that it is not going to be bulgy, and that is also the reason why I'm also notching the sharp edges the of the lower part. So after notching the lower part, I'm going to be cutting out the excess also, that is the half inch sewing allowance. I'm going to be cutting out the peplum stay for the upper part also, and the reason is because so that it will be easy to fold while sewing, so it will be easier to be fold this. And I'll take it to my ironing table, and I'm going to be folding it to make it very neat. So after folding it, I'm going to be joining it to my main fabric. So I'll be using my pin to hold it down, as you can see. Now this is the reason why you are going to be ironing your fabric first, so that it's going to make your work very very easy. And don't forget that you're also going to be folding the back also, not just the front, you're also going to be folding the back. So after folding the back, I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to be sewing it very very carefully in order to make it very very neat. So this is where we're going to be ending this tutorial. If you have any questions for me, please leave it in the comment section. I'm going to be answering you. I'm going to be replying your comments. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye.